Tonight from downtown Indianapolis, the Fever welcome in the Seattle Storm with major playoff implications on the line tonight.
All right, y'all, look, it's a big one tonight, okay? It's an important one. This has got to be our best 40 minutes. This has got to be our most intentional 40 minutes in everything that we do, okay? Look, no one person needs to do anything outside of themselves, right? But every single person in this locker room needs to be the best version of themselves.
Live from downtown Indianapolis, the Indiana Fever hosted the Seattle Storm in a showdown that turned into pure history. What if I told you the Fever didn't just win? They shattered 6 records in a single night. Indiana dominated Seattle by 20 points. But that's only part of the story. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, her Nike logo glowing across Gamebridge, and 5 key teammates also missing, the Fever show they're not just surviving, they're rewriting the narrative. They are breaking records while pushing back into playoff contention. This game wasn't just about the score.
Aaliyah Boston and Izzy McMagor in the center jump circle. We are underway from Indianapolis. Odyssey Sims tracks down the jump ball and lays it in.
Sims wearing bright pink shoes, passes to Mitchell, right corner 3. It's good, and it's a record! 771 points and counting in 2025 for Kelsey Mitchell, the most in Fever franchise history.
What do you call it when a player doesn't touch the court, yet her presence owns the entire night? That's exactly what unfolded at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, where Caitlin Clark stole the spotlight without even suiting up. Dressed in street clothes on the sideline, she still became the heartbeat of the evening. Nike picked this game to unveil her signature logo, and the atmosphere transformed from a regular late August matchup into a citywide celebration. The double CC lit up the arena, glowing across massive displays outside and stamped on t-shirts handed to every fan at the door. Thousands wore them instantly, turning the crowd into one unified.
It was really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
I'm a big fan of it. Simplicity is the best. I like the design. Nike always does great with design, so I'm a huge fan of the logo.
It looks really cool. I was really excited to see it last night, and it looks like we're going to get shirts with it on it, so that's pretty exciting too.
I like it. I like how it incorporates the CC.
I love it. Double C's. Let's go, Caitlin!
The energy inside the arena was electric before the opening tip. Even without Caitlin Clark on the floor, her presence was undeniable. Her brand owned the night. Gamebridge Fieldhouse felt less like home court for the Fever and more like Caitlin Clark Arena. Everywhere you turned, there were banners, exclusive merch, and fans proudly holding limited edition gear. This wasn't just a WNBA game, it was a cultural moment. The pre-game ceremonies only amplified the hype, and every mention of her name sent.
Feels good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
But this is where the tension rose. Caitlin Clark wasn't the only star in street clothes. Sophie Cunningham, Chloe Bibawai, Sydney Coulson, and Ori McDonald were also out. That left 5 Fever players sidelined at once, and the team had already lost 4 of its last 5 games. With the playoff race tightening into pure survival mode, Indiana understood the stakes. A slip-up here wouldn't just sting for one.
AB's been the one that's been most affected by all of our injuries. All of the point guards that know how to get her the ball and how they get it to her, and it's not just getting her the ball, it's where you get it to her, getting it to her on time, on target, thinking one pass ahead, all that matters. And I thought today, her aggressiveness with the ball in her hands to the rim, getting into defenders, playing low to high instead of high to low. When she plays like that, there's nobody that can stop her, and she set the tone for us, really on both ends. She had the NECA assignment as well and set the tone for us on both ends. And, she was terrific.
And that's where the story of this game turned into a contrast. Off the court, Indiana turned the night into a spectacle built around their star. On the court, though, they were piecing together a lineup while trying to contain the Storm. Head coach Stephanie White admitted before tip-off that Indiana had to treat this like a playoff game. Because at this stage, every single matchup matters. Aaliyah Boston summed it up perfectly. The energy inside.
It's special. I mean, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment and to celebrate with her.
That kind of pressure meant the Fever couldn't just coast through the night. The mix of celebration and urgency pushed the energy to another level. And while Clark's CC logo lit up the walls, it was someone else's hot hand that lit up the scoreboard. Indiana came out firing, dropping 20-plus points in every quarter and setting a pace Seattle could never match. The Fever never trailed, and when the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read 95-75. The win wasn't just a cheer-worthy moment. It lifted Indiana from 8th place up to the 6th seed in the standings. Fans arrived in Clark gear, but they left buzzing about a full team performance that turned a spotlight into dominance. What followed was grit and toughness, the true heartbeat of the night.
And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Oh, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knocked heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
What defines the turning point of a season? When a team could have folded under injuries but refused to break. You didn't have to wait long to see it in this game. Just minutes into the first quarter, Gamebridge went silent after a scary collision between Lexi Hull and Gabby Williams, both diving for a loose ball. Their heads clashed with a sickening thud, echoing through the arena. Moments later, Hull walked off with a swelling knot rising on her forehead. The crowd gasped, and the electric celebration that had filled the building instantly shifted into tense silence. With 5 teammates already sidelined,
Lexi Hull gets hit in the head there at the beginning of the game, comes back in. If you could just speak to her toughness and what it meant seeing her fight through what sure was not very pleasant.
I feel like Lexi's a definition of tough.
Yes.
I think when you just think of her as a player, the way that she hustles, she likes to get loose balls, extra offensive possessions. That's what she does. I mean, she got hit, she came back and just continued to contribute again. Was a pest on defense, just making her presence felt, offensive rebounds, and that's just who Lexi is. So.
But less than 10 minutes later, the arena erupted once more. Lexi Hull returned to the game, the swelling still visible on her forehead, and instantly shifted the energy. Her toughness set the tone for the entire team. After the game, Alia Boston summed it up perfectly. Hull is the definition of tough, and you could see why. Coach Stephanie White didn't hold back either, calling the collision disgusting. Yet Hull brushed it off, even joking later that everyone told her she looked beautiful with the lump. That grit and determination became the heartbeat of the Fever, giving the team a rallying point they desperately needed.
Yeah, I mean, that was disgusting. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I mean, it's who she is. She's just a tough young woman who battles every possession, and you can never tell if Lexi if she's hurt, if she's injured, if she goes down, if she gets back up. She just always has the same expression, and she just plays her butt off. And I'm thankful that it wasn't worse, and thankful that she was able to come back. But she really kind of epitomizes the toughness and the grit of this team.
What Hull's return sparked was a total transformation in Indiana's play. They controlled every possession, turning the rebounding battle into a landslide, 42-22, led by Hull grabbing 9 boards alongside Boston in aerial powers. In the paint, Boston dominated without holding back, finishing with 27 points on 10 of 18 shooting and imposing her will on Seattle. Every touch looked like a mismatch, and every possession sent a clear message. Indiana wasn't showing fear. They were in.
Williams drive, passes, Breezy with a block. She swats Malunga. Fever in transition, left to right. Powers at the right elbow. Backing down Diggins, passes left wing. Kelsey fires, got it. the defense to offense, and the Fever lead by 10. It's 22-12 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Sims knocks down a three.
At the same time, Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims brought relentless fire from the perimeter. Mitchell sliced through screens and hit backdoor cuts so sharp that even Storm veteran Nneka Ogwumike admitted afterward she was the head of the snake they couldn't contain. Sims made her own mark, not only scoring 22 points but also nailing a wild contested bank shot for nearly 35 feet, a play that sent the crowd into a frenzy. Together, Boston, Mitchell, and Sims turned the Fever into an unstoppable force, each scoring 20-plus points while keeping constant pressure on Seattle at both ends of the floor.
Kelsey pick and roll, and DD lays it in. Lexi left wing, rise and fire. Yes! Howard skip pass, AB, watch three, right side. Book it.
Mitchell sees two. There's Boston.
Short roll into the face.
They didn't get a good look, and it's Boston to Mitchell.
That wraps up the first half. The Fever lead the Storm 50-39.
And here's what made it truly rare. This wasn't just a hot streak or a single run. Indiana put up at least 21 points in every quarter while holding Seattle under 20 in each. It was balance, consistency, and a three-headed attack that completely overwhelmed the Storm. For a team that had waded through weeks of ups and downs, this was their cleanest, most dominant four-quarter performance of the season. But the historic nature of the night went beyond the scoreboard. Buried in this one were individual performances that shattered Fever record books.
Boston gets the bounce. And it's Howard to Boston.
16,737 on their feet at Cambridge Fieldhouse. Final score, Fever 95, Storm 75. A statement victory for Indiana to spring ahead of Seattle in the standings.
How many historic milestones can one team achieve in a single night? For the Fever, the answer was 6. This wasn't just a strong showing against Seattle. It became one of the most record-breaking games in franchise history. The first spotlight went to Kelsey Mitchell. By pouring in 21 points, she surpassed Caitlin Clark's franchise single-season scoring record. The fact that Clark set that benchmark just last year shows how rapidly this young team's standards are rising. You can already sense a rivalry in the making. These two are destined to trade records for years. Mitchell didn't stop there. She also became the WNBA leader in 20-point games this season, topping every other scorer in the league.
And Cal set a new franchise record for most points in a single season.
Wow!
As Ogwumike gets it to go. Mitchell, quick trigger, and hits.
Unguardable. No one can guard.
Here's the fascinating twist. While it might seem like Mitchell was stealing the spotlight from Clark, it actually sets the stage for the team's future. Clark is healthy again. Mitchell is still ascending, and the combined scoring firepower between them could very well define the idea.
Sykes doing a good job of stuffing that backdoor cut, but it just sets up the screen and roll. It's all Kelsey Mitchell. The subtle things, the amount of attention.
Aaliyah Boston made sure her mark was felt on the record books too. She reached 1,000 career rebounds, becoming only the second youngest player in WNBA history to hit that milestone. The only player younger, Tina Charles, placing Boston in elite company and signaling that greatness has arrived early. Beyond the sheer numbers, it highlights her consistent efficiency every game. She's not just racking up stats. She's already a cornerstone of her team's energy.
AB, 1,000 career rebounds. Youngest player in Fever history to do so.
And good hands there by Aaliyah. Boston just wrestles it away from Ogwumike, and here is Mitchell.
Usually you'd have a 2-for-1 right here if you had Caitlin Clark on the floor, but without Caitlin Clark, you really need to get a good look.
They do get a good look, and it's Boston to Mitchell. Here is Boston going at the rookie. Boston using her strength to get to the rim.
That 1-4 dribble puts the shot blocker inside the cylinder of the rim.
And if that wasn't impressive enough, Boston hit a second milestone. She became the second fastest WNBA player ever to reach 1,000 rebounds and 350 assists, trailing only Candace Parker. Just think about that company, Boston and Parker, alone in this elite category. It's a testament to her versatility, showcasing how she combines court vision and passing.
It's just a really good job. That's what I'm talking about. An extra dribble to get Malanga inside the cylinder of the rim.
It's been a strong start to the third quarter here for Indiana. An 11-point lead has grown to 16, and Boston adding to it, and one and a foul.
Screen and roll, and a good steal. I say this.
Meanwhile, Odyssey Sims proved why her arrival meant more than just adding depth. She became the second fastest player in franchise history to reach 50 points and 25 assists, with only Caitlin Clark achieving it faster. That performance puts Sims firmly in the conversation alongside the Fever's franchise star and underscores how she's been an immediate difference.
Aaliyah Boston and Izzy Magbagor in the center jump circle. We are underway from Indianapolis. Odyssey Sims tracks down the jump ball and lays it in. Here is Sims, one of those newcomers, slicing through the defense and gets to the rim.
I love the vertical game of the Fever right now.
In this building, 2007, finished third all-time points scored. IHSA basketball history on the girls' side as Odyssey Sims knocks down a three.